Hey everybody, how's it going? Can't believe we're in week 4 camp challenge. So many things are happening as we roll along through the weeks. So today, the first thing I wanted to do was check on our herbs that we planted and see how they're doing. If you remember last week, we didn't really have a whole lot of progress. But this week, I wanted you to take a look at what I have here. I have a whole lot of progress with my herbs. My sage, my parsley, and what else did I plant? Sage, parsley, and cilantro. That's right. So, I want to know how yours are doing too. So if you could have somebody take a picture of your plant and you can email it to Camp Challenge, that would be great. Or take a picture and drop it by. Or if there's some way that you want to send it to me, my email is drkathleenmiller@gmail. If you have an adult there, you can write it down, drkathleenmiller@gmail. And I would absolutely love to see the progress of your little plants. Also, a few weeks ago when Luke and I did our first video, if you remember, we were sitting outside and I told you that this was my favorite plant. It wasn't a fruit or a vegetable, but it was roses. And I wanted to show you how beautiful that it bloomed today. I just brought it in from the rain and it just looks so pretty. I actually have a yellow one here and a red one here. So one of the things that I had been thinking about these past weeks is it's fun to grow these things. I enjoy growing and watching them grow, but it's kind of useless if you don't know how to use them or what to use them in. So I thought we could maybe make a list, and you can refer back to this video, or you can write these down and maybe put it up on your refrigerator. And whenever you or the adult in your house, if you're cooking, take a look and you might be able to use some of the things from the plants that you grew and might add some flavor. And there's some interesting things that I found out too when I was looking this all up to make sure I had information for you today. I noticed some things and we'll take a look at what that might be. So first, when I was looking up parsley, I noticed that, you know, when you're making a salad or you have lettuce and tomato or any kind of vegetable salad or even a fruit salad with grapes or blueberries, you could have little pieces of parsley in your salad. You don't have to cook it or anything like that. You don't even have to dry it. But you can just pick it fresh and pick it into little pieces and you can put it in your salad. Another thing that you can do with parsley, and I use parsley a lot, I think I mentioned before, is you can either put it on your meat or your fish when you're cooking. So if you're cooking, you might want to put it on your meat or fish, and it adds a little bit of extra flavor. And you can try parsley on your fish sometime and then not on your fish sometime and compare it and see what's the difference and whether you like it or not. The other thing is you can add it to either rice or beans. So if you're cooking rice or beans, you can add parsley to it too. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Also pasta. So you may say, well, what is pasta? What all is pasta? Well, pasta could be your spaghetti. It could be mac and cheese. So if you're making mac and cheese, you can add a little parsley in your mac and cheese. And you can add it when it's being cooked or you can add it afterwards as well. It doesn't matter which. So the last thing that I wanted to show you about parsley is that whenever you have parsley, and if you cut it up real small, you can add it into your butter for your toast. You can add it into butter for maybe potatoes. So mix it with butter. So I'm going to put butter down here for your parsley. Okay? So I don't know about you, but when I was thinking about this, I'm looking at this going, you can use parsley for just about anything. And it adds all kinds of wonderful healthy vitamins and antioxidants to your system to help you be clean inside and grow healthy. The next one is sage. So sage, I'll have to admit, is the one that I knew the least about. So sage I did some research on, and I noticed that when people make stuffing, like at Thanksgiving time, when you have turkey and stuffing, a lot of people put sage in their stuffing. So anytime that you have that, you can do that. I also found out that sage is really popular for meat and fish. So cooking meat and fish, you can put sage on. So there's two that are the same for meat and fish. Then I found out that you can also put it in your rice and beans. So we can put it in meat and fish, we can put it in rice and beans. And I'm seeing some common things here. So the next thing that I took a look at was that you could put it in your soup. In the winter time, I like to make a lot of soup so that it keeps me nice and warm. So you can use it for your soup as well. And then the other thing that I thought was really cool that I never knew before, for those of you that have sage, you can make sage tea. So you might say, how would I make sage tea? Well, you have an adult help you with this, and you're going to put some of your sage leaves in a cup with some hot water and let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then take the leaves out, and voila, you have sage tea. So all these different things that you can do with your parsley and sage. Now let's take a look at rosemary. Rosemary is an interesting one. Yogurt, I know that a chef has been teaching you how to make the yogurt and oatmeal. I don't know if any of you have made that, but I have made it a couple times since he taught it. So one of the things I saw that you can put rosemary in is you can actually put it in your yogurt. You can add rosemary to yogurt. And guess what? For rosemary, you can also put it in meat and fish. So there you go. So meat and fish, meat and fish, meat and fish. One of the things that rosemary is pretty popular for is putting it with your potatoes. You might hear people say, I had some rosemary potatoes. And usually they're little small potatoes with rosemary on it. So you can use it for potatoes. You can also put rosemary into your butter, just like you can your parsley. So you can put rosemary into your butter or even into cheese. So we'll say butter and cheese. And actually you can put over here with your parsley, this could be cheese also. Butter or cheese. And then you can use it as a spread on toast, or you can use it on your potatoes. So you can use rosemary for that also. And the last thing for rosemary is you can mix it in your fruits and vegetables. And I write veggies when I write vegetables. So fruits and veggies. So look at that. So there's all kinds of things. Now I want to make sure you know this. This is not all the things that you can do with this. These are just some ideas so you can have an idea of what you might be able to use your spice with. You could try all kinds of different things. But these are the ones that are most popular, okay? All right, so that takes us to cilantro. Let's see. I'm not sure how many of you have cilantro, but cilantro is really popular in different salads. And I think I mentioned last time too that sometimes when people make salsa for dip and chips, they like to put cilantro in their salsa. And you can also put it on your meat and your fish. Well, wouldn't you know, meat and fish. I could have 1, 2, 3, 4 different flavors, or I could even mix them and put some of both or maybe 3 on my meat or my fish when I'm cooking it and mix those flavors together. Also for here, rice and beans as well. So you can use your cilantro for rice and beans, rice and beans, rice and beans. Well, this is potatoes and rice and beans. So you can see, once again, you can use a lot of these things for a lot of the same meals and make different flavors each time. The other thing cilantro is used for is for your pasta. Now, when I say pasta, again, what am I talking about? Pasta could be spaghetti, it could be mac and cheese, it could be lasagna, it could be rigatoni, anything that has the noodles, even a pasta salad. A lot of times in the summertime, we like to go to picnics when we can go to picnics and have pasta salad where you have the little curly pasta and cheese, and you could have cilantro in there as well. And as a matter of fact, you could do the same with parsley, and you could try the rosemary and sage in there too. So we also have our cilantro with pasta. The other thing cilantro is very popular for is stir fry. So stir fry is when you take your vegetables and sometimes fruits, you take your vegetables and you cut them up and you put them in a pan and you're cooking them in a pan and you cook them pretty quick, and then you can sprinkle cilantro on them as well. Now, don't do this without an adult. This is something that you'd want to do with an adult sometime, is if you make a stir fry. Or if you know your adult in the house is going to make stir fry, then you can say, hey, you can use some of my cilantro to put in with your stir fry. So there we go. So far we have 5 things for each one. And now we're going to take a look at the last one that we have up here, which is oregano. And what you know, for oregano, you can also put it in salads. Very popular to put in a salad. So sometime when you're at the table and you might be getting ready to eat a salad with some lettuce and cucumbers and tomatoes and green peppers and maybe onions. Maybe you have some oregano. When you made your oregano plant, take your oregano and cut it up and put it in your salad. And guess what the next one is? I'll have you take a guess. What do you think you can also use oregano for, looking at this chart? You're right, you can use oregano for when you're cooking your meat and fish also. So all of these things, isn't that amazing? If someone in your house is cooking meat or fish, you can offer any one of these herbs together. Or if your friend has one and you have another, you can bring them together and use them both. So, and mix the flavors and see what it tastes like and figure out which one's your favorite. For oregano too, you can use it in soup and stews. A stew is like a thick gravy that sometimes has meat in it. And again, this is more of a winter meal. So oregano, you can put it in soups and stews. And wouldn't you know, you can also put it in your pasta. This is what oregano is known for: spaghetti sauce and other kinds of sauces. Pizza sauce. You can use this for pizza sauce too. So you can use it there. And then finally, oregano, and I use this a lot too when I make the stir fries. So stir fry, again, is something that an adult would make in your house. You could offer some oregano. So even though you might be too young to cook yet, you can still offer some supplies in your house, if you're growing any of these things, to help change different flavors. And then you can decide, which way do I like it best? Do I like it with some parsley on it? Do I like it with sage, rosemary, cilantro, oregano? Which one is my favorite? And then before you know it, you will find out that there are certain times that you just like certain things with different herbs on it even better. So sometimes we like them plain, but sometimes adding a little bit of flavor on there makes these things even better. So you can see, you can use these on a lot of the same things. And again, we have rice and beans. rice and beans, rice and beans. You see a lot of these same things. Okay, so you might have some sage, your friend might have some parsley or cilantro, and your family might be going to make rice and beans for a picnic, some kind of particular rice and beans, and you can use your herbs that you grew to help contribute to these things. And they're very, very healthy and natural and will continue to help you to grow strong. So all of these things are great. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to find some sage so that next time when we're together, maybe I can make some sage tea and show that to you. Okay? Well, it's a bit rainy outside today, so unfortunately I don't think we're going to be able to go outside and check the garden. But you know what that rain is doing? That rain is really making our garden grow nice and big and strong. So next week when we get together, I want to take out a tape measure and find out how tall those sunflower plants are getting. Because when I'm looking out my window, they're growing really big. And I know in your science class from last week, you were also learning what is needed for your plant to grow. Hopefully you remember what is needed for your plant to grow. Your plant needs sun, it needs some water, it needs air, it needs some space, and of course we plant it in soil. Okay, so it needs all 5 of those things. And I know you learned that in your science class last week because I watched the video too. So until next time, hopefully I'll have some more roses for you and our plants will be getting even bigger. And please, if you can, send me pictures of how your plants are doing too. So this is Doc signing off, and I will see you next week.